What's up, guys? Welcome to GoGo Motoring YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2022 Mercedes E350. This is the fifth generation of the Mercedes E-Class. It was produced from 2016 as a 2017 model year until 2022. The car that you see here is the Mercedes E350 rear-wheel drive. So this was the entry-level model for this car. And it came equipped with a 2-liter inline-4 cylinder turbo engine producing 255 horsepower and 273 pound-foot of torque, propelling the car 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds and a top speed of 130 miles per hour. This car came equipped with a 9-speed automatic transmission. And as mentioned, this particular car could be equipped both in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, the 4MATIC. The other models that were released around this time, the E450 4MATIC, the AMG E53 sedan, and the AMG E63S sedan, they all came with all-wheel drive cars. So if you wanted the rear-wheel drive Mercedes, this was the one to get. So let's talk about the looks of this car. This car is absolutely gorgeous. It basically has those classic Mercedes E-Class proportions. It looks sleek. It looks basically almost like a suit, like a black suit. It looks classy. It looks the business. Let's take a look at the car from the inside. And inside, just as you would expect, gorgeous. You got the Burmeister sound system here. You got these massive screens in the front of the car. Beautiful white mocha leather. Plenty of seat, plenty of room in the back. It's a mid-size sedan, so it's not it doesn't have a ton of room, but it's very nice on the inside. I love the panoramic sunroof that you get here. So not only do you have the sunroof for the drivers, but you also have sort of a panoramic roof for the passengers as well. But the car is beautiful inside. You got this wood trim, the sound system, and the car looks amazing. The trunk's pretty big, for what it is. It's a sedan, so it's going to have its limitations there, but pretty big for this type of a car. And then, you just push a button and the car, the trunk lid closes. So let's take a look a little more in the back seat of the car. This is going to be important. Obviously, people are going to be buying this car. This is a family sedan, so you want to make sure there's plenty of room in the back. As you can see here, there is plenty of room for somebody my size. I'm 6'3", and as you could see there, thanks to those carve outs in the seats, I had no problem, sitting behind the driver's or the passenger side seat, which is about as pushed back as the driver's side is. And then here's the view that you get from the back of the car. Like I said, you kind of got that bar in the middle, but pretty much a panoramic sunroof that makes the cabin feel airy, and it brings a lot of light to the car. So here we are inside the car, and man, that's the interior of this car is amazing. It really is. You've got the design. Mercedes never disappoints with the design. It looks modern. You've got your seat controls there on the left, which is typical Mercedes. You've got these digital display screens here that you can kind of change the information that's displayed there. Beautiful steering wheel, 3-spoke steering wheel. We got touch controls on the steering wheels as well as the paddle shifters there. And you've got this big screen. It's a touch screen that actually extends all the way from the dashboard directly in front of the driver to the middle of the car. Plenty of technology there, and then it's kind of got this little cover here that you can see, which prevents you from like the sun creating a glare to where you can't see the information there. The driver obviously also has seat controls that are easily accessible. You've got these 4 vents that look super classy here, along with this nice wood, and then you can also change the ambient lighting. This car comes loaded with different technological features. I don't have enough time to go into all of them, but this one comes with a driver's assistance package, comfort package, premium package, so it's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle. Plenty of storage space here. You got a cubby there. Like I said, the screen is touchscreen, but you also have a touchpad right there. And here's what the car looks like as you look behind. Yeah, love that feel. Love that panoramic sunroof. But yeah, the car's great. The interior is exactly what you would expect the Mercedes to be. Here's one more sort of walk around of the car before we take it out on the road. I love those chrome handles there. They tie in nicely with the chrome trim around the doors. And the car is just, the taillights look pretty awesome too. Nice 18-inch wheels. And yeah, the car just looks very sleek, very sophisticated, not very flashy. And what's nice about that is that this car is going to age well. Sometimes when you have these flashy cars, they age badly, but this particular car, you're not going to have any problems with that. So this is me getting inside the car and kind of getting ready to show you what it looks like when you turn the car on, and then we're going to end up taking it on a little test drive, both on the highway and around the back road, so that I can give you my impression of its driving characteristics. But yes, nice backup camera there. You got both the bird's eye view and the 360 view, making it super easy to park this car, and so we'll go from there. So now let's go for the favorite part of the review, which is obviously the test drive. So here I am driving the car here, and the car's super nice. It's a Mercedes, right? It's a Mercedes E-Class. Comfort and luxury is the name of the game here, right? The car, because it has the premium or the acoustic comfort package, it's got thicker glass, so the car does an amazing job of insulating all the noise, which is so nice. Just envision a scenario where you're coming back from work and you just need 20-30 minutes to decompress, and you sit inside this car. Keeps it quiet, composed, just lets you kind of chill out. But yeah, the car rides beautifully and comfortably. As mentioned, this is a rear-wheel drive platform, which is not bad. In fact, that's what I prefer. So the car just has a very neutral balance. The 9-speed automatic transmission is responsive. The steering feel is pretty good too. I mentioned this in my other videos. Most of these, the steering in this day and age, because it's electrically assisted, is never going to be as good as a hydraulically assisted steering rack. But the car tells me what I need to know, but also does a good job of sort of isolating me from the bumps and the road imperfections and things of that nature. Right now, I'm driving the car in comfort mode. You can actually drive this car in multiple different modes, including Sport, Sport Plus, which obviously increases the throttle response, also hangs on to the shifts longer. But when you're just puttering around town, this is probably the one that most people are going to be driving it in, because this isn't one of those cars that you push on here. So the transmission's good. The suspension's awesome. It does a great job, like I said, of insulating you from the road and keeping you comfortable. The car's composed. The noise in the cabin is controlled. And here we are, kind of getting on the on-ramp, and I'm going to show you sort of the acceleration that you get from this turbo 4-cylinder engine. If there's one complaint that I have about the car, it's the 4-cylinder turbo engine. On paper, it produces what maybe sufficient horsepower, 255 horsepower, as mentioned, and what did I say? 273 pound-foot of torque. The car goes 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. So those are, it's a decent time, especially for a car like this that's rear-wheel drive, that doesn't weigh a lot. But what I've noticed is, when you're on the road and when you're accelerating and you kind of hit that gas pedal, there's just turbo lag. It just takes a minute for the turbos to kick in. And once the turbos kick in, the car goes obviously faster. But there's that delay between you pushing on the gas pedal and then the engine and the transmission sorting themselves out and you getting sufficient acceleration. And even when the engine sorts itself out, and even when you sort of hit the gas and the car gets going, because it doesn't have a ton of horsepower, it doesn't have that feel of the car is going to just keep pulling like a freight train to get to the speed limit in a quick fashion. It just doesn't have that. So when you're driving this car, at least as it relates from, being on the from the engine side of the equation, the car feels you wanting more. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. And I was a little bit bummed about that, I'll be honest with you, because I almost bought this car. Like this particular car that you see here, I was very close to pulling the trigger on this car. Very low mileage car, still had a warranty on it, only a couple years old. So now that the new E-Class has come out, I was going to go ahead and maybe take advantage of some of the depreciation that the previous generation is going to experience. And so this was me kind of test driving the car, and I really wanted to buy the car because the car looked awesome. Looked awesome from the outside. Has awesome technology that's very well integrated into the driver experience, so it's not overbearing, but it's just nice. He's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, GPS. Everything that you can ask for, this car comes equipped with. But when it comes down to the essence of what a car is, right, which is an engine, a gas pedal, brake, steering, the one thing that this car lacked for me was just the engine, right? So I can totally see the engine being sufficient for most people, especially if like some of the people who are going to be buying this maybe a little bit, older, and they're not interested in, having a super fast car. They just want, a nice car they can get to from point A to point B. This car will do that just as well as the top of the line, E63 E-Class. But, if you're want to have a car that can kind of do both things, right? Like one of which is, just help you live comfortably, get you from point A to point B, be a multi-purpose vehicle, allow you to, haul kids, commute to work. But, if you're looking for that car that, when you have some spare time, you want to go take it on some of your favorite back roads and drive it around, the engine is, I think, where this particular car is lacking. So obviously, if you go for the higher level models like the E450 4MATIC, that one's got the 3-liter inline 6 turbo. So that's 362 horsepower, 369 pound-foot of torque. And oddly enough, like in terms of like the, fuel consumption, it's basically just as fuel efficient pretty much as this 4-cylinder turbo car. I think, really stepping up to that inline 6 turbo engine is the way to go if you're gonna have this car, because that's the only thing that is missing from this car. From as it relates to handling, the car is very responsive. Like I'm gonna be taking it out on a few back roads here, and the car drives amazing. When I was posting one of the POV driving videos of this car, one of my viewers asked whether this car feels like a BMW, and I would say that in many ways it does feel like a BMW. Like I said, it's rear-wheel drive. It's not super heavy, and this, that's kind of being the bare bones, 350 rear-wheel drive. Doesn't have a lot of like the complexities that come with like an all-wheel drive system or a hybrid system, etc. So this car actually does have a feel of a BMW in the handling department, especially when you put it in Sport Plus mode. It'll take these curves pretty easily. Like you don't have to make too many adjustments to the steering wheel when you're taking a turn. So the car's very precise in that regard, and then also very comfortable. So if you're like driving on these back roads and you come across a bump in the road or something along those lines, like it's not going to unsettle the car. The car stays composed, which makes it super easy to take on the back roads and have some fun with. So from a handling perspective, this car is awesome. It really is, and I've got no complaints about it. It feels like a BMW, drives like a BMW, from that perspective. And again, it's also a super nice car to be in. Again, the only thing that could make this car better, in my opinion, is if just the engine was a little bit more powerful. But then again, I also understand that if somebody's just buying a daily driver, and they're not looking to, go drive the car fast or accelerate or anything like that, then, this car will do the trick. The last thing I'll conclude this video with and this driving review is that obviously I was taking this car out on a test drive, right? And so the test drive, it is limited. But I could tell that this is probably one of those cars that as you own it and you drive with it and you live it on a daily basis, you fall in love with it more every time you do that. And the reason I say that is because, this particular car just is such an all-arounder, right? Like, it looks awesome, it looks classy, you can go anywhere with it, it's comfortable for you, it's comfortable for your passengers, it's big enough, it's not a massive car, but it's big enough to where you could easily, a family of four could easily live with it. It's got the technology that makes your life a lot easier, just in terms of, like, if you want to listen to Apple, the podcasts, and you need maps and music and things of that nature, everything's sort of integrated through the technology. And Mercedes just generally does a great job of integrating its technology and it being helpful for the driving experience, but not something that gets in the way. So there's no doubt in my mind that if you were to buy this car, as your daily driver, you will be happy with it. And it's one of those cars that I could tell would grow on you very quickly. So all in all, big fan of the car. Would support and recommend that you all go ahead and buy it, especially with this model if you don't care about the performance. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.